Department of Information Services. And today I want to ask you why. Why? Because if you work in the realm of one-to-one devices in public education like me, then you've either heard that question countless times or you're about to hear that question countless times. I've heard lots of different answers to that question, but today I want to offer a perspective that I think is fundamental to why one-to-one is so vitally important. And that perspective is respect for the expectations of today's learners. Because if it's truly our goal to meet the needs of all students, then we have a moral and an ethical responsibility to provide the functions that come with a one-to-one environment. Now, this is normally where a person would say, because kids today are just different. And as Jamie shared with us this morning, they're not different. However, they do come to us with very unique and well-defined expectations of their learning environment. And those expectations fall into 4 categories. The first is access to information. Very simply, they expect to be able to use their devices to find out things, to obtain a deeper understanding, to own their learning. Next is efficiency. They expect to be able to use their devices to work smarter and not harder. Third is communication. They expect to be able to text, to be able to email, to be able to video conference, to be able to collaborate. And last is self-expression. They expect to be able to share their thoughts, their hopes, their dreams, their likes, their dislikes with the world. I'd like to share a story with you that I think illustrates one of these expectations. This is Aria. Aria is the 4-year-old daughter of my cousin Heidi. They live in Maryland, just outside of Washington, D.C. But Aria's grandparents and her uncles all live in Illinois. So on many days when Heidi picks up Aria from preschool, Aria will climb into the back seat, they'll start their commute, and she'll grab her mom's phone. And she'll open up FaceTime. And then she just works her way down the list. She has a FaceTime with Grandpa. Then she'll have a FaceTime with Grandma. And then she'll go on to her Uncle Kevin and to her Uncle Eric. Now I'm talking about a 4-year-old in the back seat of a car on the Washington Beltway who's initiating a face-to-face conversation with her family members who are halfway across the country. I think what I'm describing is pretty powerful. I think we could even agree that it's amazing. Some might even call it magical. And it's true, it's all of those things. But not to Aria. To Aria, it's none of those things. Because I highly doubt she's sitting in the back seat thinking, wow, mobile device technology has really come a long way. No, she just expects it to be there. Because quite frankly, it's all she's ever known. Now I want to warn you, if you try to share this perspective with people, you're going to get a lot of doubters. They're going to say to you, no, there's no way kids that young are developing these kinds of expectations. So for them, and maybe even for you, I want to issue a challenge. The next time you're in a car with a child age 5 or younger, I want you to turn on your radio, and I want you to leave the radio on until a song comes on that they really like. And when that song comes on, turn it up. Let them have a party in the back seat. But you know when that song is over what they're going to ask you to do. They're going to ask you to play it again. And in that moment, I want you to explain to that 5-year-old the concept of radio and why you can't play it again. I guarantee you, by the time you're finished explaining, they will almost pity you for your lack of awareness of the world around you. To be clear, I did not share Aria's story to say that there are going to be tens of thousands of Arias walking into your building. I shared Aria's story to say that you already have tens of thousands of Arias in your building. And it's time for us to all get busy. Because if we are what we say we are, if we are truly student-centered, if we're truly whole child, if we're truly personalized learning, if we're truly student voice and choice, if we're truly students owning their learning, then all of that has to start with a respect and an understanding for their expectations. Thank you.